Sorry, Slick. I'm busy. Without another word, she stalked down the hallway and turned the corner.
Rex, you done harassing that woman or what?
His friend Ty asked from the doorway. Rex rejoined them, this time in the mayor's inner office.
Oh boy, please tell me you didn't,
the mayor said.
I try not to deal with Nat until I've had at least 3 cups of coffee.
Rex stared at the closed door, puzzled by the suddenness of his attraction. For months he'd been beyond bored with women, preferring to work instead of date. Threesomes and orgies had become stale, and even his quickie romps with men had begun to tire him. He knew who to blame for his lackluster love life. His best friend Brian, that ass, had once been a fun-loving ladies' man. Now engaged to the ultra-fine Faith Sumner, he'd turned into a stay-at-home stud. Granted, the few times the couple had let Rex play in some voyeuristic games, he'd gotten off, but the experience had been lacking. Brian and Faith were in love. Their connection showed him how much in life he didn't have. As if he needed reminders with his parents just returned from vacationing overseas. He turned his head back to watch Ty and the mayor joke about dates and dancing at the upcoming gala at the Savannah River Club. Rex nodded and settled back into the conversation.
Oh, right. I'll be there. My parents should be too. They returned from Europe last week.
And thus his reprieve from their constant meddling had come to an end. Ty said something else, to which Mayor Tom Jessup laughed. Tom and Rex's father were golf buddies, so he did his best to tolerate the blowhard.
I think the boy is still distracted,
Ty mused and nodded at the doorway. Tom grinned.
Can't blame him. That's great, but I wish she'd use that tongue for something other than ripping my guys a new one.
Tom wiggled his brows, and Rex forced a laugh. The city mayor was just as big a womanizer as he'd been before he'd taken the election.
Nat?
He asked. Tom nodded.
Natalie Wielder, our urban planner. Girl is a genius with figures and strategy, but she's tough to work with. Has the whole damn city council scrambling to stay out of her way while she works her magic.
Ty grinned. Married and disgustingly happy about that fact, Rex's friend ribbed the mayor.
Yeah, I heard your son talking about her the other day. Tough for him to get her job if she's so damn efficient.
Tom grunted.
You got that right. Much as I'd love to work with Josh, truth is we need Nat to keep us afloat.
He smiled at Ty.
But now we're not so desperate for funds since you and Rex brought us some much-needed revenue. You two gave the city a real boost, and I can't thank you enough.
Ty shrugged. Arrogant but not obnoxious, he knew his company's new headquarters had made him a popular man.
It was between here and Atlanta, but Julie's parents live here and Atlanta's crowded enough as it is.
His warehouse club chain sat a few rungs below the giants in competition and was steadily gaining ground. Tom continued.
And Rex, S&F has become a staple at over half the local restaurants. You're in all the supermarkets and liquor stores. Kudos, young man. I know Harry and Sue are pleased.
Rex's parents had always encouraged him to follow his dream. A finance major who didn't want to be known as Harry and Sue's little boy for the rest of his life, he'd found his calling and jumped on the opportunity to be his own man. His pride and joy, Squirrel and Feather Microbrewery, had delivered. Their beer had become so popular he'd had to build another center for manufacturing and distribution in Charleston, with plans to expand in Florida down the line.
Rumor has it one of the big chains is interested in buying.
Ty watched him.
You interested in selling? Maybe in the far future. Not now.
Not when he was on top of the world. He had money, charm, fabulous parents, when they weren't nagging for grandchildren, and friends. Not to mention Rex could have his pick of the fine women in town. Just then, Natalie Wielder came to mind. He'd have to find her and ask her out, if only to see why she'd been so captivating. Was it her temper, her attitude, that slender build that went against his usual type? Nothing about her screamed flashy.